Hello, this is Fatima from Easy Automation Labs, and this is our 7th class of QA course. And today our topic will be how we move from SIT environment to UAT. But today mainly we will focus on our SIT environment and every testing features in this environment. So yeah, and let's start from SIT environment. And we have already discussed in our previous classes what happens in SIT environment briefly, but today we will discuss it more. We will do our in-depth discussion on how everything works in SIT environment. So let's clear something in this part is that we have, let's say this is our SIT environment, and yeah. Okay, so let's go back to our Confluence. So as we remember that in our dev environment URLs, all the features of our software was created individually, and everything has its own link, and it was indeed went through a lot of testing by the developers and also by the testers as well. And we have each link for each feature or each page of our software. As you can see, these are 5 different links for 5 different pages. And what we're gonna do once we are done making our links, we do the testing part by our testers. And after that, what we move on to our next environment, which is called SIT environment. So in this SIT environment, we mainly integrate all the links from our dev environment, and we connect all the links one by one. And of course we will learn how we connect them one by one, but for now let's discuss it that we connect and integrate each link with each other. And for say how the result will be like number 1 link is connected to number 2, as well as number 3, 4 and 5. All right, I mean each link or each page is connected to each other pages as well. So for in SIT environment, as you can see, 5 links are consisted in one sole link. Okay, so this is our software after integrating. So as you can see, in our dev environment we had individual links, but in our SIT environment we have our complete one link that includes all the 5 links from our dev environment. Okay, so all right, so let's clear out some things at first. You can see here that at first we will perform integration testing, end-to-end integration, and I'm going to clear this to you. Okay, so first we have our SIT environment. Okay, so in our SIT environment there are other testing that we will complete, but that will be in our SIT environment. So the first test that we will do, and it will also hold other testing features as well. So our first one will be system integration testing. Okay, system SIT. Do not confuse this one with this one. This is the environment. Okay, in SIT environment the first testing feature is called SIT. Okay, system integration testing, or this is this is also known as end-to-end testing. End-to-end testing. Okay, also called end-to-end testing. Okay, and let's discuss what is end-to-end testing. So yeah, so this here we can see it's written here. We are just checking if the flow is perfect. We are not testing all features in depth. So this is integration, but yes, we will do regression in this environment of okay. So why it is called end-to-end testing is because testing the overall functionalities of the system, including the data integration among all the modules, is called end-to-end testing. All right, so that what we have learned so far is that all of the parts are, all the parts are called module in our software, in our language. So these are called modules, say these are called module, these pages are called module. So end-to-end testing is that when I clicked on our SIT environment after integrating, so let's say uh, this is our SIT environment link, this is our software that has been deployed. And now let's see, if I click on desktop, you can see that it has two options, two browsers for PC, one for PC and for Mac, and then we have laptops and notebooks. It is already showing me as I hover over all the buttons or all the links in other way. If I say, of course these are links that are connected and integrated. So this is our home page. All right, and now if I click on to my account, it will show me register and login as well. Wow. And now if I decide to go to register part, now our page will occur. And if I have already opened an account, then I will go click the login button. Okay, and then I have wish list, and I have also shopping cart as well, and I have checkout. All right, and this is our contact page. So that is what we are going to check. I mean, we will not do any end-to-end testing. All right, not any in-depth testing, just like we do in other testing, as testing part. Not any detailed testing. We will just only hover over all the parts, and we will see if everything is working, everything is connected perfectly, all the pages are connected perfectly with each other. All right, that's exactly what we are going to test in our end-to-end testing. And after we are done with our end-to-end testing, which goes by SIT and SI system integration testing. So you can see here login, add customer, delete customer, edit customer, and log out. So yeah, so that means that if all the functionalities, all the pages are connected with each other, that is why it is called end-to-end testing. And then our next step, or our next part of our SIT environment, is system testing. System 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 testing. Okay, system testing. Let's discuss our system testing, as it is a long and in-depth process which will include other functionalities of our testing phase. So first one is, let's start by our definition. System testing is the process of testing the entire software system as a whole to ensure that all components and functionalities are working as expected and the system meets the specific requirements. Okay, this is performed after the completion of system integration testing and before the acceptance testing phase. Okay, acceptance testing, which means user acceptance testing, we are meaning here. All right. Okay, so we have few functionalities and few parts of system testing. Types of system testing this time, all these tests will occur in final integrated build. Okay, as we have done our integration testing, as that means we have integrated all of our features in our software, and we have checked that everything is tested end to end and everything is working perfectly, everything is connected perfectly. Now we can move on to our mm, system testing, and we can see that it has four parts, four different types of system testing, which is called, first one is GUI testing, second one is functional testing, third one is non-functional testing. So I hope we remember that from our previous class. I have already discussed these three. Okay, and usability testing, this was in our third or fourth class maybe I have discussed, but in the first three parts will I have discussed in our last class. And just to tell you one more thing, that this was in our dev environment, and now that we are testing the three functionalities once again in our SIT, so that is why this will be called full regression. Why? Because as it was that's we are testing something for the second time, and if it is regression testing, and if we are doing the regression part for the second time, that is why this is called full regression testing. Okay, as we are doing the same testing again, these are regression or full regression. Okay. And for now, we will discuss these first three parts, and later we will discuss our usability testing. So let's start with our GUI or graphics user interface testing. I have discussed in-depth discussion in our last class about GUI testing, but let's go do a brief discussion on this part. So GUI or graphics user interface testing focus on verifying that the user interface all of the web application is working as expected. It includes testing the layout, colors, fonts and buttons, font sizes, accounts, contents, images, links, input fields, and navigation of the web pages. I mean, let's go to Amazon. So let's go to Amazon, and this is our graphics user interface while we are testing, and we are checking that all the parts, all the designs, all the boxes here, all the button boxes here are uh, in a in a perfect shape and are maintaining a perfect or balanced distance between each other, and if all the pictures or images are showing perfectly, so that is the thing that we test this part. That is why it is called GUI testing. I mean, in this field we mainly test these that is mainly visual to us. All right, so that is what is called GUI testing. So let's read an example. A GUI test for a website would involve checking that all the buttons, font links, input fields are working properly, and that the layout of the pages is consistent across different devices and browsers. That means we will check this graphics user interface using our PC, our laptop, our phone, and other devices as well. All right. And then we have our functional testing. Okay. Our functional testing will hold API, API, and database. Okay, so all these two are called backend, backend, and front end. For front end, we have already discussed our front end, because front end means graphics user interface. I just discussed this part, and a functional testing ensures that the web application is performing as intended by the testing the individual functions and features of the application. This includes testing the input validation, data processing, and output generation as well. Now let's do an example. A functional test for an e-commerce website would involve testing the product search function, adding items to the shopping cart, and complete the checkout process. All right. It means we have learned from our API and database everything that happens in API, and everything that all the data that we collect from database, and we accept the request, we give the signal, and and go and fill out all the necessary requests from our customer, and everything that we test in our backend, that is a part of our functional testing. All right. Okay. And then we have our non-functional topic, which is called non-functional testing. Is called non-functional testing focuses on testing the non-functional aspects of the web application, such as performance, security, and reliability. This includes testing the application's response time, load capacity, and error handling. All right. I hope we have discussed all these parts in our last classes as well. So let's go do a quick recap on what is non-functional testing. This is, non-functional. It means it is not related to our software completely. To build a button or the feature that we see in our graphics user interface. This is not related to those. As you can see, it is connected to performance and security and reliability. Okay, and response time you can see, and load capacity or error handling as well. So this is clearly not exactly connected to our software that the developers create. Of course they will be creating this. And for non-functional, and let's discuss an important part of our non-functional testing, which is called um, let's focus on our security. All right, why security is important? Mhm. Secure security, just give me a moment. And so let's okay, so security testing, like they say, it was important. Security testing, and one thing is important here, which is called ethical hacking. Ethical meaning something that is legal. I know that we all know that hacking isn't legal, so something that is called ethical, and if we connect the two words, so that means this part of hacking is legal. And these are mainly people who do the hacking, for software security ensuring. So, so mainly what happens, our while creating our software, um, a team will be hired. The team of ethical hackers will be hired to ethical hire, hired to do a testing that is called penetration testing. Okay, ethical hackers will be hired to do the penetration testing. What is penetration testing? So say a software has been created, has been deployed, has been globally available and usable, set for everyone. So the hackers mainly will focus on, um, they will search, or no, they will test, and they will see, and they will find every possible way to attack the software. All right, they will see how this software can be attacked or hacked by the hackers, actual hackers, and they will prevent all the necessary write the necessary test cases to give the developers to for further fixes. So mainly they will go and they will hack the software, or they will try to hack, and they will check how it can be hacked in, and how many ways it can be hacked, and they will find out all the possibilities, and they will see which part of the software becomes vulnerable, and which how it can be fixed. All right, so that's what happens in penetration testing. Okay, and it is also called security testing. It is also a part of the security testing. Okay, and then we have, this is a part of our non-functional testing. And in our non-functional testing we have, um, give me a moment. Yeah. We are done with our non-functional testing, so now let's discuss these two testing parts, globalization and localization testing. But before jumping into these two topics, I'm going to discuss something important here. So let's say, I hope we remember from our previous classes that, say this is, hmm, okay, let's divide it. Let's divide it into two parts, and one part will go for dev and one for testers. Okay? One part will go for dev and one for testers. So, you know, developers mainly create the code. They first, what do they do? First, they write the code, and then they do what? Where do they write the code? In their local PC. Okay, in their local PC, write codes in local PC. And then what do they do? Unit, sorry, unit test. Why am I telling this unit testing? Because something that is tested for the first time is called unit testing. All right. And after, say they have wrote the codes, they have done their unit testing, also integrated testing. Integrated testing. And now why I wrote integrated testing here, I hope we all understand by this time, because we developers also do the unit testing, also they do the integration testing as well, because in first step they created a feature, in second step they created another feature, but what do? They integrate the previous feature with the second one or the new one. All right. And also when they send the code or send the feature to testers, if they find something, find any defects or bugs while they are testing the features, they will again return it to the dev, and they will do the um, again, they will test it again. I'm going to be telling a lot of important terminologies in this class. So, yeah, and then, so main thing why I am writing all these things. So this is called everything that they do in here. So another thing, they write the code in their Angular. All right. Angular, and they get what do they get? So say this part is the code, and then this part is the dummy interface that they get, okay, which is not official, only they can see it, okay, but they still haven't posted in the GitHub. Okay, let's say they still haven't posted in the GitHub. Okay, and this is everything that they are doing, from writing to code, from testing, everything that they are doing. This is called code base. Code base, I mean, in this code base, everything that developers do. Okay, so this is, let's say, we can say this is their platform to finish all of their work or responsibilities. But everything that the testers do, like the testing, they have found some defects, they again send it to the developers, they receive the feature once again. So this is called, everything in the platform that the testers use for all the functionalities or testing, which is called build. Okay, build. All right. And let's say for now, sprint one, we have created, in sprint one, we were able to create our version one, let's say version one. Okay, and in sprint one we had say 1, 2, 3, 4 user stories, and while creating number 3 user story, we found some bugs. All right, we found some bugs. Okay, but after that, what we are going to do, we need to fix it. What are we going to do? We will, and then or bugs or add. Okay, if we face any kind of issue after we have finished our version 1, after we have finished our version 1, after while testing the sprint 1's version 1, then what we are going to do, we will, in sprint 2, in our version 2, we will add this one, and the previous one will be deleted. Okay, let's remove the sprint. No, let's remove, that's not how it works. Let's remove the sprint part, because let's just say for a software, let's say version 1, the feature has been working perfectly. Okay, and now it faced some issues, or it has the user, mainly the customers, face some defects or face some problems using the application or say software. So they have reported to the team, and then what they're gonna do, they will fix it, and they will make a complete new version of this, which will be version 2. All right, it will be fixed. Okay, and now then we have our, okay, so that was important before moving out on to our next discussions. Then we have globalization and localization testing. All right, so let's go back to our confluence. Okay, so as you can see that in my location, it's set to Bangladesh. All right, it's set into Bangladesh, and now the location is in Bangladesh. And if I click on a product, as you can see, that the prices are not showing me in BDT. All right, it is showing me the USD. So what I'm going to do is I can also change the if I can also change the, let's say not for Amazon, it's not happening in Amazon, but if for other software, if I try to change the currency of it, it will also change the currency according to my location. All right, and then we have our language part. All right, so that's how it works. That's mainly what we do. If this is mainly regarding the currency, the location, and yeah, as you can see, the currency setting is here. So I can change everything from this part as well. So yeah, that's how it works. This There are the things that we're gonna be facing while in our location or currency settings, and the thing that we test, that is called globalization and localization testing. Okay, performed to ensure that system or software application can run in any cultural or local environment. Okay, so it should not be limited for some region or for not for some other region. So let's say a software has been created, but it is only usable, it is only reachable for the Americans, not for the Canadian people, or other countries people cannot use it. That should not be like it. All right. Okay. And then localization testing, we have the specific kind of language and usable only in specific region. Okay, so I can see the language part here as well. Language setting, this is also a part of our localization testing. All right, and now we are going to test uh, yeah regression testing. Okay, uh, we are going to test the same thing. This is called full regression. All right, everything that we are doing, this functional, non-functional, these are full regression testing because we are testing it for the second time. And if we are having 1,000 test cases, we can test all. We will test 700 to 800 most important and critical test cases. All right. I mean, important and critical test cases we will only handle because, let's say, we were given 3 months of time. We were given 3 months of time for a product, but it took us 2 months in dev environment, and now we have only 1 month left for SIT environment, UAT, and pre-prod, everything, blah blah blah, everything. We have to cover all the other items in 1 month, but we will be able to finish everything in 1 month because the crucial and important part, that will be our dev environment, because everything in this environment will be created and all the important features and functionalities will be tested most perfectly in this environment. So that is why we are taking 2 months for only dev environment and another 1 month for SIT environment and others. Okay, so that's how it works in the IT. And let's start with our regression testing, and it has types, 3 types of regression testing. So let's start our regression testing first. Testing conducts on modified build to make sure there will not be impact on existing functionality because of changes like adding, deleting, modifying features. Okay, why it is mentioning the adding, deleting, or modifying features? Because till now, where we have reached, there will be a lot of deleting scene, modifying scene. There will be a lot of changes in our software. So that is why every time we fix a bug, or every time we add some functionalities, add some features, add some new features to our software, or we delete some features from our software, every time we will do test. So that is why we have many sort of regression testing. All right, but we just won't go and test every time we do something. We will follow some rules. So that is why it is divided into 3 sections. The first one is called unit regression testing. Okay, so let's discuss our unit regression testing. So I have already discussed this here. Yeah, in this part. Oh, sorry. Let's write it again. Okay, so let's say for yeah. So this is a box. Okay, and let's say this is dev and this is testers. Okay, and dev has wrote the code, and then dev has done unit testing. While unit testing, he found some bugs. Okay, and then what he did, he is not going to immediately send it to him, because as we have discussed that after writing the codes, he will first do the unit testing, then he will immediately send it out to him. Okay, so first one is in unit testing, but if he find any bugs in our bugs in our unit testing, then he will fix the bug. Okay, and then he will once again test. So now this is why it is making sense why it is called unit regression testing. Okay, unit regression testing, because unit testing is will be tested once again. That's why it is called unit regression testing. Okay, yes, I hope we understand now what is unit testing and what is unit regression testing. Okay. And then we have our regional regression testing. Regional regression testing. So let's say this is a feature. So let's say this is a feature. It has 2 more features as well. Okay. So this is 1. This is 2. Just to make you sure, so this is a feature which holds 2 more features. That means clearly these 2 are close. Okay, so say this is my account, this is register, and this is login. So now if I found any bug in this login, then what I'm going to do, so testers found some bugs in login. All right, testers found some bugs in login. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, so he will once again send it to developers. All right, he will send it to developers, and then developers fixes the bug, and then he sends it again to the testers to test it out. So now testers will first, what they're going to do, they will first following the test cases, they will first test it and check if everything is all right. But along with this part, they will also test this impacted features as well. All right, so that's what regional regression is. Regional regression meaning, say, I just discussed, so let's do a quick recap on regional regression, because this is important. Testing the modified module along with the impacted modules. Impact analysis meaning conducts to identify impacted modules with QA and dev. Okay, and then we have our full regression. Full regression meaning once we are done with all the features, we have covered all the features, we are done with all the features. Now we will only focus on our main and remaining part of the application. As you can see, testing the main feature and remaining part of the application. So example, dev has done changes in many modules. Instead of identifying impacted modules, we perform one round of full regression. Okay, so what did you mean by that? So let's go to our SIT environment and say this is our home page. All right. So what is full regression? So let's say everything has been tested perfectly for the first time. We have done many testing parts, many types of testing, and now we can say that our software is perfect. But for more refined software to get the perfect stage where our software will be working smoothly, we will do a second regression. That is why which is called full regression. So I will not only, so what I'm going to do, I will first click on desktop. I will click on each buttons. I will click on each buttons. I will undergo. I will not hover over. This is not a part of hover over because we will be doing the test once again. This is just in simple words. I will be testing the software for the second time. Okay, just like I did in the first time. But this time, I hope I will not be facing any defects or bugs because in our first regression testing, we have already fixed our bugs and defects and we have already done. We could. And now let's go to here and first I will test everything in this software. Then I will go to Mac and then I will test everything in this page and I'll go to laptops, I'll go to components, I'll go to tablets. I'll test every possible feature that is seen, that is exists in our software. All right, so that is why this is called full regression testing. Okay. And let's read this. This is important. And why unit regression is important. Unit regression testing is important because changes made to one part of the code base can have unintended consequences elsewhere. Okay, so let's say what did it yeah so let's say while writing the codes, I have found some bugs. But if I fix the bug or if I try to do anything with that specific part, it may impact my other parts of my software or the code that I'm writing. Okay. If a developer makes a change to a function that is used in multiple places throughout the code base, it is possible that the change could break functionality in other areas. By performing unit regression testing, QA teams can catch these issues early and ensure that all parts of the code base continue to function as intended. For example, imagine a social media platform that has feature for posting updates. During testing, it is discovered that the posting feature works correctly. However, after a change is made to the code base to improve performance, users report that they are unable to post updates. Upon investigation, it is discovered that the change caused an issue with the posting feature. Okay? If unit regression testing had been performed after the change was made, this issue could have been caught and fixed before the release. Alright? So that's what I'm saying. So the the developers gave out the feature right after doing the unit testing to the testers, but somehow the testers couldn't even find the bug after releasing the customers were the only people who found the bug that they were not able to post, so say Facebook or Instagram. But if the developers have done the unit regression while right after the unit testing, the customers wouldn't have to go through this problem or the issue that they have been facing posting in Facebook or Instagram, let's say. Okay. And now what is retesting? Okay, let's read out the retesting part and then I will discuss it. Whenever the developer fixed a bug, tester will test the bug fix is called retesting, and then tester close the bug if it worked, otherwise reopen and send it to developer. All right. And then we have example, build 1 was released. test team found some defects, defect ID 1.0.1, 1.0.2, and posted. Okay, build 1.1 was released. Now testing the defects 1.0.1 and 1.0.2 in this build is retesting. Retesting is really easy concept. So let's go back to this part. So for the part that is unit regression testing. Okay. So what happened? So when he gave the testers, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They will first do their component testing. All right, and they found some bugs. Okay, and they returned this to dev, and they have fixed the bugs, and they did again unit regression testing, and then he once again for the second time he submitted to the testers second time. Now this is what will be called retesting. Okay, this is what it's called, retesting. This is an easy concept. So that's just an easy concept, which is developers creates a feature, testers found some defects and submitted to the developers. Developers fixed it, and then again he sent it to the testers. Then testers, the test part that he's going to do the second time, that is why it is called retesting. Okay. And then let's read out why our retesting is important. Retesting is important because even small changes to software can introduce new defects or issues. These defects may not be immediately apparent or can cause problems later on, leading to costly fixes and delays in release schedules. By retesting after making changes, QA teams can catch these issues early and address them before they become bigger problems. For example, imagine a banking application that has a feature for transferring funds between accounts. During testing, it is discovered that the transfer feature works correctly. However, the application is released, users report that the transfers are failing. Upon investigation, it is discovered that a recent change to the code base caused the issue. If retesting had been performed after the change was made, this issue could have been caught and fixed before. So let's say this a communication part is also should be maintained in this part. So let's say developers in their code base created some added something to their feature, or deleted something from their feature, or do some changes in their features. So let's say, so of course this is how it happens. So if you are doing something in this part, as all of the lines are connected, obviously all the other lines will be impacted by this line. Okay, so instead of testing out, you just go and deploy this, then obviously deploy it, then obviously it will be showing many issues. Okay, that is why the retesting is important. Just after, immediately, if any changes or anything related to the code of the feature has happened, so that's why it should be immediately sent out to the testers for retesting. Okay. And then we have our non-functional testing. Okay, once the application functionality is stable, then we do non-functional testing, and then focus on performance, loaded, contain, secret, etc. It is okay. So the first one is our performance testing, and then we have our load testing, and then we have our stress testing, and then we have our volume testing. Okay, so load testing is how many people uh, can the software how many people our software is able to take, or how many people can use this, how many people can use this software at a time, how many people can post, how many people can use, how many people can buy, how many people can log out, log in, register. That's all about the numbering, and so that is why this is called load testing. Okay, in our performance testing, we do this in our performance testing parts, and we have our stress testing. Stress testing will be our software is able to take all the data, all the yeah, all the data of the customers and everything. It's not stress. That by stress doesn't mean the stress that we face in our daily life. It's not something like that, but it is more like how much it is all connected to load testing. Okay, so many people are using this software at a time, so the how the software is going to face all the requests and how it's going to give out signals at a time to thousands or millions of people at a time. So that is why we tested. This is called stress testing. Okay, and the volume testing, this is same as load testing, how many people or how many customers is able to hold um, all together. And then we have our security testing. I've already discussed this part. And what is our compatibility testing? So to say, let compatibility testing will be for to test a software that has been created, and it will be tested in every server. No, no, or not every server, every application, PC, laptop, phone, anything. We will do the testing that is called compatibility testing. That is not compatibility testing. So let's say we are testing our software. We have tested the software in our PC. We did not find any defects or bugs. We have tested our software in our mobile. We also did not face any problem. But while we were testing it on our laptop, we found uh, sorry, we are testing this using our we have so many browsers such as Windows 10, and then we have Firefox, we have Edge. So while testing the software in every possible browser, I found some defects in one of them. So say I found some defects while testing the product in Windows 10 with Chrome. So where I have found it, by which part I have found it, that is why it is called compatibility testing. So yeah, and then yeah, performing non-functional testing. We have a nice story here about all the non-functional testing parts. Okay, we conducted security testing to identify vulnerabilities, possibilities of getting attacked by hackers. This is an important terminology, and weaknesses in the system's security features. We use tools like WASP-ZAP to simulate attacks and penetration testing to identify potential security loopholes. Okay, we discovered some vulnerabilities in the. Okay, so okay. For compatibility testing, I tested the software on Windows 10 with Chrome, Firefox, and Edge browsers. I verified that the application was responsive, all features were working correctly, and there were no display or formatting issues. I also tested the software on Mac OS with Safari, Chrome, and Firefox, and ensured that the application functioned properly on all different platforms. Okay, in one instance during testing, I discovered a critical bug that caused the application to crash on Internet Explorer. I immediately reported the bug to the development team, and they were able to fix it quickly. So that is why it is called compatibility testing. And reliability testing, so this is about the timing, how much it's going to take. Okay, how much time it's going to take while giving out the service. To check the system's ability to perform consistently over time, we use tools like Apache JMeter to simulate long-running scenarios, and monitored the system's stability, availability, and error rates. Okay, we discovered that the system was stable and reliable, but occasionally encountered some errors that needed to be fixed. Okay, and now we have our usability testing. Okay, usability testing for, say, testing the user experience, who, when, and why. Usability testing evaluates the ease of the use of the web application from the perspective of the end user, right? It includes testing the accessibility, readability, and overall user experience of the application. Okay, now I'm going to discuss what is usability testing. So for this part, we will hire from outside firm. We will hire a group of people, a team of people to test our software so that we can understand how the customers or the end users gonna be reacting while using our software, so that we can understand their any problems that they are facing. If they are, in one word, we will check the customer satisfaction by this testing. Okay, sometimes we hire other groups from outside, sometimes we ourselves do this part, but we do this either way, just for the customer, just to identify to or mark out the satisfaction of how the end users or the customers. So that is why we do the usability testing. All right. A usability test for a news website would involve testing the readability of the articles, the ease of the navigation between different sections, and the accessibility of the website for users with disabilities. Okay. Overall, these different types of testing help ensure that the web application is functioning properly and providing a positive user experience. By following this step-by-step guide, you can ensure that your testing is comprehensive and covers all the key areas of the web application. We will simply hire people, and they will be giving us the exact same results or suggestions from just like the normal people or the end user will give us. So that's why usability testing is important, because right after our usability testing, we will have our UAT. Okay, so that's why before handing it out, before handing our software out to our business people, we will do this usability testing just before handing it up to them, because we have to understand how our business people will be, if they're going to be accepting it, they're going to be happy or not, they're going to be watching if the requirement that they gave us, where we were able to fill it out or not. So that's why usability testing is really important. And who conducts usability testing? Usability testing can be conducted by a variety of professionals, including designers, researchers, developers. In some cases, companies may hire outside firms to conduct testing on their behalf. Okay? Regardless of who conducts the testing, it's so important to have a diverse group of participants that represent the target audience. Okay? This ensures a wide range of perspectives are taken into account when evaluating the product's usability. All right. And now we have our alpha testing. What is alpha testing? So usability testing, okay? So in usability testing, say there was a lot of suggestions, there was opinions that some people said, hey, some people told the developers that, hey, I think this feature is not working this way, or this feature should be more accurate, or should look more beautiful if you develop it in this way. So they mainly collect suggestions from collect suggestions perform usability testing. Okay, and so they have collected lots of opinions, lots and lots of suggestions, or even bugs, you can say. So they are going to do the fixes. They will do the fixes. They will fix it once again. They will do the testing part once again, because this is the last phase of our development team. Okay, so this is the last phase. That is why it's important. They have to make sure everything is fine, everything is perfect according to the developers, according to the designers, according to the testers, and also according to the end users as well. So now they will do the coding part, they will do the changing, and they will test it again. So that's everything happens in alpha testing. Okay, after usability testing, the thing that will take place in uh, after the phase that where all the changes happens, all the updates happen, that is why it is called alpha testing. Okay, after usability testing, many changes can come into the picture. Defects can be rectified. After fixing everything before releasing the new build, the developer team performs alpha testing. This testing is performed in the development stage by the developers, where an internal team of developers test the application before releasing it to the next level, UAT environment. This testing focuses on identifying any bugs or errors in the application that were missed during the development stage. Okay? And now we have our UAT environment. So there is a tricky question that might ask you in interview, that why beta testing is not with alpha testing. Okay, why beta testing is completely in a new environment. So let's say why it is in UAT environment, why our beta testing is in UAT environment. So let's start with our UAT environment. Okay, what happens in UAT environment? Everything that in this environment is related to business people. Okay, so what he's going to do, he will check. He will, first, obviously, he will check the software if it's been created the regarding the following the user requirements or not. Okay, so he will also do the business test cases. Okay, the test cases for UAT, user acceptance testing, are often different from those for regular QA testing. So what does that mean? For in this UAT environment, different test cases has been written only for the business people, and they will test this software according to the business test cases. Okay, the reason behind it, UAT is conducted by business people directly, or sometimes in the presence of the business people. They might do it themselves, or they might do it, they will tell the testers and developers to do it in front of them in a meeting, or by sharing their screen. They behave as end user, as well as they are more concerned with the business goals and requirements of the website rather than the technical aspects. Okay, so in this part they mainly focuses on the how their software will going to be working, if their business will be successful or not, how they will handle all the shipment, how they're going to handle the marketing part as well. So everything had they discussed here according to their business test case. Okay, in normal QA testing, we would focus on testing individual features and functions of the website to ensure that they work as intended. However, in UAT, the focus would be on testing the overall user experience, ensuring that the website meets the business goals and that is intuitive and easy to use for the end users. Okay, and now we have our beta testing. Okay, at first business people test their business cases on beta version. Okay, what did I mean by this? By our alpha testing, as I have already mentioned, that this is now perfect for deploying this part. By this phase, our software is perfect. Our software is perfect for deploying and for using, as we have tested it by end users. And then the business people, what he's going to do, he will also do some changes in the software by following his business test cases, and then he will deploy, or he will release a version, okay, of the software, which is called beta testing. Okay, this is only for some specific people. This is not for all the people. So let's say a software that will be released in 2026. But if you are curious enough, if you are interested in QA, if you are interested in software, computer science, you might go and uh, log in yourself in any software's beta testing. Okay, that's only for curious purpose. Okay, which is beta apk. You can see the beta version. So as you can see the version name here as well. Okay, apk tester, YouTube beta tester. Okay, beta test the YouTube app on Android as a YouTube beta tester. So if I go there, I can, so let's say if they won't be giving me any money. Okay, this is just for curiosity. If you want, you can do this. And you can, how to opt in. If I click on how to opt in, they will show me the necessary proceeding, how I can move on with this part, and I can see the new version that they are going to be releasing. But only I can see who's going to be logging in this version. Only those people will see. This is not for everyone. Okay, this is not for everyone. Most people who uses YouTube and that they doesn't even know that this part exists. Okay, so this is not for everyone. This will be for a specific person like you and me, or others who are curious or interested. Okay, at first, business people test their business case on beta version in UAT. If everything seems satisfactory, they release the product for beta testing. During beta testing, a group of external users test the app in a real-world environment. Okay, they provide feedback on the app's usability, functionality, and overall user experience. The developers use this feedback to make further improvements to the app before releasing it to the public. Okay. So that is everything that we needed to learn today, and in our next class we will discuss what we are left with. So I hope I could finish all the important items of this. And so first one was our UAT environment. There's nothing more on this, just the UAT part where they follow where they make the software how they want, following their business test cases, and then they make the better version of the software. They release it for some specific people, as it's mentioned here. Okay. All right.